Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of 100 Casts. I am your host, Octavian, and I believe we are on to episode number 77 now, so let's go ahead and get started. Actually, I should likely shift these around here just to make sure. Okay, looks like everybody's in the right spot already. I like to make sure that we have the LCS order, that is top, jungle, mid, AD carry support for the champions on both teams down there in, what would you term that little thing? The overlay, I suppose? I don't know if that particular box of the overlay is going to have its own name, but one way or the other, I just like to make sure that that's as convenient as possible for you viewers, but it looks like I thought of that before we got into the recording. So, good job, Octavian. Thanks, Octavian. That does open up a little bit of time here for me to take a look at some of these matchups and give you a little bit of a rundown of what we might be able to expect, in particular from the laning phase in this match. We've got a Vel'Koz versus a LeBlanc mid lane, a lane which I do not envy the Vel'Koz player in. Cheapy might have a bit of a difficult time holding off Suihaten. That's a fun name to say. I'm going to assume it's pronounced Suihaten? Oh no, those are two L's or two lines at the end there, not an N. Suihaten. That sounds Native American, almost. Anyways, Cheapy up against Suihaten. I'm going to have to toss that one over to the LeBlanc, at least post-level, even just 3 or 4, once LeBlanc gets the ability to full combo down the Vel'Koz and do quite a bit of burst damage before Cheapy can really respond. It's going to be really difficult to land that slow-moving projectile knockup in the form of Tectonic Disruption. In the top lane, we have something a little bit unorthodox. Rayador bringing the Matador Alistair skin up there. And that's probably my favorite Alistair skin. Even though it's clunky looking, I like it because it's one of the rarer ones. Not quite the rarest you can find. The absolute rarest Alistair skin would have to be Black Alistair, which I would know all too well because I've collected all the Alistair skins. It's one of my favorite champs, except for that one, because you could not get it unless you were in, I believe, the alpha or the early stages of the beta of the game. And while I've been with League of Legends for quite some time now, not quite that long, nice! I don't know if the Tectonic Disruption was placed purposefully to interrupt that distortion, but that is one potential usage in this matchup of that skill. It will interrupt LeBlanc as she flies towards you. Oh, there's a crit from Q&E. He's going to flash forward, and there's another crit, slamming that sword down to slice himself up a bit of beef, taking home 400 gold and a delicious hamburger. Altonius now trading down on the bottom side, and that's the one matchup in terms of lanes that we haven't gotten to talk too much about yet. But we may have to delay it a little bit longer as we have Fairlight, the jungle team out, coming to the top side. He does not have a red buff circling underneath his feet, though, so there's no CC really to be brought to bear. Meanwhile, on the bottom side of the map, JacobSmile is down to about a third health as Altonius is exercising those tremendous trading powers that Jhin has. However, it's kind of left Nami hanging up to dry, so to speak. She's lost most of her hit points as well. Fairlight trying to get Q&E into a 1v1 with him. He knows he's got the advantage with that blind. Q&E, though, can always choose to simply walk away. This is one of the disadvantages of a Teemo jungle. Lacking in CC makes it a bit more difficult to formulate ganks. And Jacquiana's going to get hoisted into the sky on the wings of an Aqua Prison as we go to a bit of quiet in terms of trading. And not only Rayador's Alistair is unusual in this game, something we've actually seen so far is Fairlight's Teemo. Strange pick, as Greenish Ninja is going a bit too close to the enemy team. He's going to be stunned up by that Dazzle. JacobSmile now coming forward. He's got the exhaust on him, so he's not quite got the damage output he needs to finish off that fish. And it looks like they're going to be forcing Altonius' flash as well. In about an even summoner trade, JacobSmile and Jacquiana both missing all of theirs, and Greenish Ninja and Altonius missing all of theirs as well. So, a lot of resources burned from both bottom lane duos, but not a kill to be seen. Meanwhile, Q&E is facing the might that is Alistair's trading potential. One of the few reasons why he does sort of work as a top laner. He's got a lot of ability to win in short exchanges, since he often ends them by headbutting the enemy out of trading range. The only issue is that if Q&E can manage to find himself a longer trade, most likely he'll be coming out on top. In addition to the fact that with that first blood, he's been able to pick himself up even more crit chance, so those swings are going to be hitting pretty hard. As Raidar's going to finish off another trade with the headbutt. Also, Tryndamere, not really held down by mana costs, not nearly as much as Alistair is. One of the severely limiting factors to an Alistair solo lane. We see a little bit more trading up here in the top side. Rydar going to be knocking Q&E back, and I think that's pretty much going to be the story of the duels that we see between these two going forward. But with Fairlight showing up, Q&E might be in a little bit of trouble if he were to opt to stick around, but then again, he does always have the option to simply walk away. Not much a Teemo can do to stop that. JacobSmile dashes neatly away from that captive audience, doesn't quite get held up. Greenish Ninja, though, still playing forward because he knows he's got Shiayuki coming out of the jungle. JacobSmile is doing his best to juke around. He avoids the bubble, but he finds himself between the teeth of a dragon. And I don't know really which one of those was a preferable place to be. Jackiana now maybe getting dove into the turret, has Dazzle, but stuns Shiayuki just outside of the turret's range. Looks like he won't be getting the kill, and in fact, Greenish Ninja is the support who takes one home today. Is in the mid lane, we see that trade that I was so afraid of for Cheapy. Thankfully, the higher damage sigil of Silence, the mimicked copy, did not get popped. Or Sigil of Malice now. Ooh, that's a throwback, isn't it? Back when LeBlanc actually had a Silence. But yes, now it's Sigil of Malice. You're letting your age show, Octavian. And I worry for Cheapy. I really do. Sihuatuel, that is so hard to say quickly. Really has the upper hand in a lot of these trades just because of how mobile he has the option to be. And Shiayuki's going to return to the jungle. Shyvana, again, sort of like Teemo, doesn't quite have much CC to offer to a lane, but what Shyvana brings in spades to the jungle experience is massive amounts of clearing speed, and additionally, even in ganks, she does at least have a gap closer post 6, and I would say quite a lot more damage than a Teemo can offer. So there's a reason you see Shyvana in some jungle metas, but really you don't see Teemo occupying any of them at all. The only place that Teemo really sees the jungle is, aside from roaming out of lane to play some mushrooms in it, is as a very cheesy early counter-jungling champ, making use of the camouflage passive. Altonia's going to be stunned up. A speed buff from Greenish Ninja's Tidecaller Blessing will get him out of any further danger, however. This Rydar goes in for a trade onto Q&E. Rydar has invested in some early armor. A wise choice against a Tryndamere lane. Tectonic Disruption doesn't land where it needs to. As JacobSmile dashes away from another Aqua Prison. And we've gone over a lot of the laning phases here, but now moving on to 8 minutes, we might potentially see some transitions into the mid-game as Dragon becomes much more of a viable possibility, but I don't know, it looks like we still got some more focus on these lands here as we have Shiayuki coming down to the bottom side. There is the Jhin ult, a few bullets fire out, that 90% slow can do a lot to help keep a Shyvana stuck to an 80 carry. JacobSmile going incredibly low, but Shiayuki has to dive under a turret if he wants to finish off this kill, and a turret is not a very safe place to be. Dazzle doesn't quite connect neither one of those bars of light finding its target. And it looks like just barely we're not going to see any kills on the bottom side. There's the Disintegration Beam! Lifeform Disintegration Ray, pardon me. And Cheapy takes home the solo kill. This has been a very well-played Vel'Koz lane, honestly, against Sihuatuel. I've not had my hopes very high for Vel'Koz. I honestly would think that LeBlanc is one of the better counter picks you could find against that champ. And yet Cheapy's still doing a very good job, and he's actually taken home the first kill for blue, so props to him for finding his way, navigating his way through a rougher lane. As Rydar continues the trades here with Q&E, but as I said, Q&E, not only does he come out ahead in these elongated trades because he's Tryndamere and he can do quite a bit more damage than an Alistair can just through dint of auto attacks, he's also perfectly happy just to keep on farming up because he's honestly going to become, I would say, more of a powerhouse, or at least a different variety of powerhouse in the late game than this Alistair will. He's going to be able to carry his team, be it through split pushing pressure or simply just being a absolutely irksome menace to the backline during team fights. One way or the other, Tryndamere does scale hard. Fairlight's going to say thank you for the leash and take home a crab. Q&E's going to be turning back around onto Cheapy, but Cheapy's got a bunch of damage to toss his way. And that passive stacking up does do some damn good damage, but Fairlight, speaking of damn good damage, is going to be brought to a few hundred hit points as Sihuatuel, despite a rougher laning phase than I anticipated, is still LeBlanc hitting 10 minutes and can still chunk down, especially an under-leveled Teemo. As Fairlight is feeling the pain of his slow jungle clear, sitting only on level 5 currently. We still have yet to see any sort of significant map movements from either team. Cheapy now getting Mimic's chain onto his back. He has to heal. He has to flash as well, and that's both summoners down for Sequatel, who is just exercising the power of the LeBlanc in this matchup now. Perhaps those laning phase trades and that kill were kind of a fluke, as Sequatel is going to be flashing forward into the distortion and taking down Cheapy while he's most vulnerable. Having to stand still to channel that ultimate makes him an easy target for a LeBlanc to finish off. As Cheapy gets a little bit too greedy, sticking around in the mid lane on very dangerously low health. Maybe that's going to be the call to the Dragon Pit. Or maybe not, as Shiayuki steps on a mushroom and maybe thinks better of it. Going to be dragons falling onto Fairlight. Fairlight going incredibly low. Flash burn from both junglers here, as Shiayuki comes out decidedly on top. And the first of what I anticipated to be many jungle duels goes in favor of Shyvana, but it took us 11 minutes to get there, but eventually the Teemo did get dueled. As JacobSmile is going to be dashing forward, he finds himself on top of a gym trap, but just about steps off of it. As Ryador continues to be Alistair in the top lane and continues to trade. The story I often find myself telling about top lane. Trades are happening, not really much else. Oh, here comes the Taric ulti. The invulnerability only really... Well, it does block out the force shot from Jhin there onto Taric, so that's a decent amount of damage it mitigated. But here comes Curtain Call. Altonius firing off a few shots, not quite connecting any of them. Meanwhile, we do see Shiayuki taking the dragon, and that gets burned down pretty dang quickly by Shyvana, who, ironically enough, is very, very good at slaying her brethren. And the dragon's going to be falling rather quickly. Shyvana left alone to her own devices in the pit. Oh no, Jackiana. By some misfortune or other, he was left with only 50 health underneath his turret, and then suddenly he didn't have even that much left anymore. Altonius now trying to dive under his secondary turret, maybe bit off more than he could chew, but he's going to be able to get out of there. Strutting his way. That wonderful walk cycle. CUNY, realizing he's outmatched, is going to Spinning Slash and Flash out of this one, and Fairlight once again is feeling the pain of not having CC on Teemo. He's actually going to be diving under the turret. This is by no means the right call here, and Fairlight will be going down. Just frustration at the fact that out of 4 ganks, 4 times, Tryndamere has escaped, perhaps getting the better of Teemo there as he just... You know what? This time I'm going to kill you or I'm going to die trying, and it turns out it was the latter. As he gives up another kill to CUNY, who's 2-0 now. Working on that Infinity Edge. Gonna be getting there a little bit more quickly now. And if that chain lands, it does not, though. And Sheep will be getting out safely, unless he repeats his mistake from earlier and sticks around. There's the Disintegration Ray. Sequatel will be able to distort his way out of that. But the damage dealt does at least allow Cheapy to farm out another minion wave before he heads home, which keeps him just about even on CS. Alright, this is the first gank we see from Shiayuki up on the top side. Ryadar, without the benefit of his ult, is going to try and flash away to escape this one, but it may be too little too late. CUNY diving into the turret will be caught on the very edge of that Pulverize. Can Shiayuki finish off the kill as CUNY backs outside of turret range? He's a speedy dragon. He's got that burn out to catch up. Dragon's Breath comes down, but Ryadar is just too far away and too tanky. Looks like he'll be able to get out of there. Jackiana gets hit by the tidal wave as JacobSmile does not get hit by the captive audience. Now here come a pair of dazzles, neither one finding their mark. Jackiana gets incredibly spooked as a pair of ghosts dash in onto him. Greenish Ninja is going really low. One more crit, even just one more auto attack will do it, and JacobSmile flashes forward to finish it off. Captive audience catches him out. Sequatel looking to try and follow up on that. One more auto attack, one more auto attack. He stutters the auto attack. Here comes the Taric ulti. It doesn't get there in time. Altonius is going to be taking home the kill with Curtain Call. And Jackiana will fall as well. A victim, perhaps, of their own hubris. Bottom lane duo going to be falling as LeBlanc opportunistically shows up to take advantage. CUNY just outside of tower range as that Pulverize landed. He may have been in some trouble otherwise. To be fair, he did have Undying Rage up, and thanks to a change now a while back on Tryndamere, you can actually Undying Rage even through crowd control. It's just very much impossible to kill that Tryndamere when he doesn't want to die. Ryadar happy to tank up some auto attacks while he's got the ult running, but as soon as it wears off, he backs away from the trades. Especially considering he's got no mana left. And this time, Fairlight has a red buff. Can he catch Q&E? Chilling Smite comes down. One more auto, another auto more. Teemo Poison is running, but Undying Rage is going to prevent it from doing anything. And Q&E will once again escape. Fairlight's focus on the top lane has cost him dearly, actually. He's gone down that one time we saw with an overzealous tower dive. And he's actually losing out by a good nearly 20 CS in the jungle matchup. Looks like he may be going down again here. Shiyuki leaping onto a mushroom just to try and close the difference to Fairlight here. Sequatel is going to dash forwards. Get some damage of his own in there and finish off the kill. Cheapy now is going to be perfectly fine. And squiggle his way out of there. Not entirely sure how Vel'Koz goes about achieving locomotion. It appears to be some sort of rocket-powered thrusters in this particular skin, but we'll say that he squiggles about for the purposes of the cast. Pings on the mid lane, as looks like blue team is now grouping to try and take some sort of objective. Q&E has objectives on the mind as well. Undeterred by Alistair's fist slapping. You can get some good damage on the top outer turret. Now, this is the danger of that Tryndamere moving into the later game. Honestly, we're not even that far into the late game. It's only about 15 minutes in. But even now, especially against as mana-gated a champion as a top lane Alistair, Q&E is just an unstoppable menace. Ryadar does thankfully have the headbutt to keep himself safe, but Q&E is happy to just go back and hitting some minions. He is getting flanked around on here, but JacobSmile and Fairlight, do they have the CC to hold down? And Tryndamere, Q&E doesn't burn Undying Rage. He goes down to the double tap passive. Now Sequatel is going to be shut down by a laser from a distance, as Cheapy gives him the evil eye, which on Vel'Koz is a lot more deadly than it is on your mother-in-law. Jackiana coming around the corner. Greenish Ninja going to be knocked up. There's the passive pump. That true damage comes through, and he has to flash away for fear of death. And Cheapy and Jackiana are a dynamic duo here in the mid lane. Not only have they taken home a kill, they've also forced out a decent number of summoner spells. Tidal Wave comes through, but that's a slow-moving current, and it's an easily avoided one. Cheapy and Jackiana are going to continue to hold out that mid lane as Fairlight, stealthed in the jungle, thinks he finds himself some prey in the form of Shiyuki. Let's see if he's right. They actually burned that Shyvana flash. Not sure if that was entirely necessary to get out of there alive, but better safe than sorry in some situations. Salvatonius continues to shove out the minion wave here. This map looking a little bit messy, but nonetheless, some plays are being made. Sequatel is coming in onto Jackiana. He's going to finish off that kill with a secondary Mimic Distortion. JacobSmile trying to dodge out these curtain call shots. Is going to be able to do so, but Q&E is going to finish him off anyway with his flash into a Spitting Slash. Now he's trying to escape into opposing jungle. And it looks like he might be able to accomplish that. There's the Q. Doesn't quite land. The geometry was not strong enough. It looks like Q&E will get out of there safe and sound. Fairlight was waiting and ready in this ambush, but maybe he's kind of tricked himself. He has to flash out of there. Ryadar now in with the ulti running is going to go for the 1v1 with Q&E, who still actually has Undying Rage up, so that tool is still in his kit. Now Ryadar coming around the corner, sees a low health dragon and wants to try and finish it off, or maybe he's going to turn his sights onto this Jhin. Tidecaller's Blessing gets a little bit of speed, but Cheapy's going to flash in and finish off those dreams. Altonius now in the 1v1 Fairlight. He is blinded, so the strikes are not doing much, but as soon as the blind wears off, a massive crit comes through and the Teemo goes down almost instantaneously. 5-13 on the board, 4,000 gold up. Red team gotta be feeling good. Wow, my throat feels like someone's been punching it from the inside. Some tiny man just lives inside my throat, punching me over and over again. Whew. And we may have a while to go yet, as neither one of these teams seems to want to give up, despite the gold deficit and the kill deficit as well. Blue team is shoving in for a turret, and it looks like they're even shoving in for a pair of kills, perhaps. Greenish Ninja getting dove. There's the invulnerability. JacobSmile not even going to be touched throughout that double turret dive. That's going to go a good ways towards evening up that discrepancy. Q&E now coming in. He's got a few auto attacks to show for it. Jackiana, though, going to stun him back. And we're once again returned to the mid lane push fest. There's a Q flying out. Q&E might be in some trouble if he comes a bit too close. He's got that Infinity Edge, but he doesn't have the ult to back it up. So right now he's just a very squishy auto attack machine. without his ace in the hole to help him out. Ryadar does not have very much magic resistance. He's built entirely armor to deal with this Tryndamere lane, and he's going to be paying for it in that 1v1 there against Cihuatel. He's more than happy to exploit that advantage. Now, without a very high damage member of their team on this dragon, it's going down relatively slowly, and that's going to give an opening for Shioyuki to come and around the corner. Cheapy will slay QNE before he can pop the ulti. And that's going to be a smite secure from Shioyuki, who's coming on in. Steal that one away. JacobSmile, one more bullet's gonna fly out and finds its mark. Altonius takes home the kill. Oh no. Poor Lucian. Here comes Chibi from the side. Cihuatel distorts away from the dazzle that would have surely meant his doom. A little bit of alliteration there. I like to have fun too. And with a quiet falling across the rift, perhaps now is the right time to take stock of exactly where we might expect this game to go. Tryndamere has, as I mentioned earlier, completed an Infinity Edge, and that's a pretty damn large item spike. A Frozen Heart, though, on the other side for Alistar does do something to combat that. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, we have relatively even item spikes as well, with LeBlanc having been able to pick up a few kills roaming here and there. Coming out very strong out of this laning phase, but I have to give props to Cheapy again. 4-1 from a LeBlanc versus Vel'Koz lane is no small achievement. It does mean that he's sitting on that new and improved Morellonomicon, and the majority of the pieces have another item. We'll have to see exactly where he goes. Looks like perhaps Luden's Echo, but there's a lot of different places that could end up. And I would like to make note of this Teemo build as well. That is a Blood Razor Teemo. But it's not the full AP. Those mushrooms may not hurt as much as we anticipate, as it looks to be something of a on-hit mixture for this Teemo jungle. He has got some AP in his inventory as well. Chibi armor getting dove into the turret. He has the heal. It's sort of a last-ditch effort, though, as a few more crits are going to come through the Infinity Edge, enhancing those to make them do massive damage in Q&E with Undying Rage. Will shuffle his way out of there with a few more steps. Fairlight finds him in the jungle, though, and an auto-attack or two later. Tryndamere has been ended. Jackiana now fishing for the Dazzle. Alistar's flanking around the corner. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, JacobSmile is taking on a turret by himself, but Cihuatel's going to quickly put an end to that. With a 1-2 sigil punch. Lucian topples to his knees. Meanwhile, Ryador and Jackiana are on a mission for vision. And they're going to find a good amount of it, dropping some wards in the enemy blue side jungle. Perhaps not the best place to have it right now, as the dragon isn't available, and that secondary turn in the bottom lane, as JacobSmile just discovered, is a difficult one to shove in with LeBlanc that ready and waiting to strike. And speaking of item builds that I was touching on earlier, I would like to just make one more note here of an unusual pick. The Spell Thief's Edge, actually, coming out from Cihuatel's LeBlanc. Now, this was recorded on patch 6.9, which, while about a patch ago, from the time that I'm doing the commentary, is not actually a patch on which Spell Thief's Edge was common in the mid lane. That was around patch 6.2, 3, maybe even 4, just some of the earlier patches in Season 6. I think somewhere in the middle there, somewhere around 5 or 6, is when Spell Thief's Edge kind of fell off in popularity, especially among laners like LeBlanc, who are not about utility and more about just murdering folks wherever they can possibly murder them. The choice very much bespeaks the intentions here, but Jackiana coming around the corner does have that Starlight's Call to get a bit of time bought for his team. Chibi's going to take advantage of that to drop into the ulti. Jackiana does go down to Q&E, lands another auto attack or two. The geometry does not find its mark as Q&E spinning slashes his way out of there. That is a 1-for-0 trade with a lot of blinking health bars displayed for red. Let's see if this can translate into a push at the very least. Even though they gave up a kill, blue team did get a lot of momentum off of that fight. The minion wave just showing up now. They may have the time they need to take this turret down, or at the very least, they'll get some good damage on it. Seeing as it is starting on full health here, but it's getting melted pretty quickly. Greenish Ninja, speaking of getting melted, loses a lot of hit points to that Q. And we got 4 members of Red Team grouping up in the mid lane. Cihuatel's going to be popping that Spell Thief's Edge, coming in with a distortion. He gets knocked up by the nicely placed Tectonic Disruption, but not even Cheapy's well-placed skill shots are enough to save this Lucian's life. JacobSmile is going to get bursted to death. Ryador around the corner. He's Gonna knock up Q&E, who's looking for the flank. Honestly, though, that's enough of a job done just buying that time by distracting the enemy team. Meanwhile, Fairlight's trying to pull the same trick, distracting Shiyayuki here, but it doesn't work quite as well if you nearly die. Teemo has to flash over a wall to get out of there and rely on his mushrooms to escape. You know of this Teemo's position. He's sitting on a ward right here. Going invisible or not, it doesn't really matter. Shyvana has more than enough AoE to crush even the most annoying of Teemos. And that will be a squished Yordle. What do you get when a dragon is hungry? Out of the way. Hotel, in the meantime, is going to be teaching a similar lesson to Cheapy. He stepped a bit too close and paid the price. Ryadar headbets back Q&E, but it's just a delaying measure. Does allow time for JacobSmile to show up. He's going to be flashing forward. A few more bullets will put an end to Greenish Ninja. JacobSmile outside of the range of that Terra Gold. He will not get the benefit of his invulnerability, and I'm sure he was wishing he had. He goes down pretty summarily. Shiyayuki, now playing the front line for his team, is going to allow Hotel and Q&E to do a bunch of damage here, and with the help of a few more bullets, Altonius will take home a kill. Red team cleans up a very messy fight in the mid lane. He's going to be able to take down an outer turret as a reward. Let's see if they can push any further. They seem intent on it. Hotel searching for Fairlight. Won't find him around that particular corner. What they will find is another minion wave to push and another turret perhaps to hit. But Fairlight is around and has, well, not amazing wave clear, but some wave clear. A few Teemo mushrooms placed judiciously can at least inhibit a push. This will give time for Q&E and Shiyayuki to find themselves another dragon. We'll see if Cheapy can steal it away, or if Q&E is just going to bully him off. With Altonius around the corner, I don't see anywhere that Cheapy gets out of this one. Q&E is on a rampage. Dragon gets smited down, and that is the second stone dragon taken right now. I apologize for the spectator client. It's not quite up to date. For some reason, Riot's API isn't reflecting properly dragons on these recent patches, but Q&E is going to get stunned up by that Dazzle. He's going very, very low, but he has the Undying Rage to solve that particular problem. He gets out of there with just a few hundred health left. Meanwhile, Ryadar trying desperately to make something happen here, frustrated as hell that his top lane Alistar just hasn't been able to exercise the power that perhaps he thought he could get. Finally does seal the deal on Q&E's demise, actually going over to the Dazzle from Tarek. This is a really interesting Teemo build. He's actually foregone boots so far. He's choosing instead to get that Leandri's Torment as quickly as possible. He's going for a really hybridized build here, which is going to hurt him in this early game, no doubt. Because those items do not really synergize in any way whatsoever with one another, and they lend themselves to do very different playstyles. But I suppose if you can get to a 4, maybe even 5 item breakpoint, then he can have the best of both worlds. You can have his mushrooms and eat them too. I guess make the enemy eat them too. Chibi gonna be brought up in the air by an Aqua Prism, still in range of the turret as well. He will go down as so much damage comes his way. Not even Terracult is able to get there in time to save him. As those stars are fickle, friends. They take their time coming to your aid. Oh wow, JacobSmile gets bursted. Not quite to death, but enough to force the heal. And he's gonna be out of there, one summoner the lesser. Well, speaking of summoners the lesser, Jakiana might have been typing. Might have not realized that he didn't have the text box open, because that is the D key pressed, or the F, whichever one. One way or the other. Jakiana is missing his flash, and he sure is wishing he had it right now as Q&E is diving into the turret. A few more auto attacks will seal the deal in this turret. Q&E takes home the kill. Undying Rage allows him to stick around a little bit longer, even, continuing to harass this Cal. Meanwhile, on the top side, Fairlight's being chased away by Shiyayuki, who picks up a rampage for himself, and happily clears out a pink ward afterwards. That's going to be Red Team looking like they have this game in the bag, almost. There are a few things that can stand between them and victory now. Hotel is double distorting forward just for an auto attack even onto Cheapy. Exercising that sort of dominance is what LeBlanc does best, especially against an immobile, squishy mage like a Vel'Koz. Which is really unfortunate for Cheapy. He had a great laning phase, he came out 4-1, but now we're looking at his score and it's 4-5, which means that since that laning phase, he has not done very much but die a good few times. put that down to individual play, put that down to matchup one way or the other. It's ending up unfortunate for Cheapy. He's looking for his 5th kill. Looking to make that a positive KDA, but Greenish Ninja is able to flash away. Oh, does Baron finish it off for him? No, it does not. But does Baron finish off Shiyuki? Yes, it does. What are you doing, Red Team? There it is. They finally finish it off. Whew, that was a tense moment. I was quite literally on the edge of my seat for that. Oh, JacobSmile. He didn't land the Ardent Blaze, so this culling is not giving him a movement speed buff. He tossed the Ardent Blaze the wrong direction, but with the help of a few minutes, he might be able to finish off Q&E. Can he get in range for the Piercing Light? He fires it off, but it doesn't quite land. Okay, he has to know Q&E is still nearby, because these minions are Baron buffed. Q&E had based, they would no longer be. He has to know. He has... Okay, he places the ward in the bush. Q&E does squish it before it has time to turn invisible. Oh, good lord, those crits are disgusting. They are horrifying. Horrifying things. And Q&E will heal back to full health before heading on back to base. Or to sit in the bush for a little while, I'm not sure. Q&E does what Q&E likes, because when you have that sort of damage, not many people can stop you. Pardon me. And yeah, that's the terror that is a 3-item Tryndamere. Phantom Dancer with the new passive, making it even harder to bring that man down. Cheapy and Jackiana once again playing the dynamic duo front line, this time not to as great effect as we saw in that mid lane maybe 10 or 15 minutes ago. Cheapy comes into turret range just with that cheeky little auto attack to finish it off. Shiyuki trying to take vengeance for his fallen turret is going to be flashing forward into the ulti. Ethereal Chains will not quite finish off the kill because he did have the benefit of the Terra ulti. Here comes one more shot. Daltonius will pick up the killing spree as he fires it past Fairlight. Sea Hotel is dominating with a squish on that jungle Teemo that's been performing questionably well. JacobSmile going to flash away. He has the U-Moose pop for a bit of a speed buff. Q&E going to face tank bullets for days and not pop the ult. As JacobSmile takes on the kill under the turret. Maybe you didn't expect the burst from that Piercing Light, but that's the sort of thing you gotta expect if you're playing Tryndamere. That is your ace in the hole. That is your jack in the box. That is your fox in the hounds. I don't know. I think I'm just making up phrases at this point. Greenish Ninja getting disintegrated. As Nami is indeed something that qualifies as a life form. Oh, the heal! Benefiting from Altonius' generosity. Greenish Ninja will get out of there alive. And Cheapy might just about as well. Sea Hotel going to get headbutted back, but he still has time to distort his way back out to his original path. And dash forward twice. This time just showing off that he can do it. There was pretty much no chance of doing anything impactful there versus the enemy's 2 tanks who are both at full health, but hey. It's not like it cost you very much. JacobSmile going to dodge away from that tidal wave. He does take down the turret, but it may be at the cost of his life here. He has a lot of damage back into Altonius. Altonius has to flash away. Another bullet for the culling lens, and he takes home the kill. Now, can he bring down this fish? The bubble comes out. Greenish Ninja is going to be able to windle his way back into the jungle, but that leaves JacobSmile free to back off here and live another day. Oh, but he wants to keep going for these minion waves. He just wants that one last wave's worth of farm. Now he wants the kill on the Greenish Ninja. JacobSmile overextending here is going to be put in his place by Q&E, who comes in for the spinning slash. Oh no. That's like the man who wins the lottery and then goes back and spends all his winnings on more lottery tickets. Just learn to know when you can take the win. One way or the other, though, it was just a 1-for-1 trade in the end. Not too terrible. Fairlight, turn around and blind him. Fairlight, turn around and blind him. Fairlight does not turn around and blind him. And as such, does go down pretty swiftly to Q&E, who's rocking a lot of damage at this point. He's going to spinning slash his way out of that fight with a few hundred hit points left. Shiyoku now playing the front line for his team. Is looking to bring down Chibi, but he just doesn't have the damage to bring to bear. That's where Sea Hotel comes in. That is such a hard name to say during these play-by-play moments. But Jackiano's going to take down the dragon who tanked for a little bit too long. Meanwhile, though, Sea Hotel will opportunistically take home a double kill in the back of that as Tryndamere swings in opportunistically, indeed, to take home the ace. Greenish Ninja gets a hot helping of mushrooms at the end of the fight, but it's an ace nonetheless. And a dragon as well. Once again, red team looks like they're in the driver's seat here, especially if Q&E can get the kill here onto JacobSmile. Half his health, another half his health. 2 auto attacks and a little bit more consideration is all that Q&E needed. And good lord, Tryndamere is a terrifying beast. Happily tanking up a turret to bring that one down. Fairlight drops the blind onto him, but honestly I don't know if this is a fight that Teemo really wants to take. Chilling Smite to slow him down to keep him from getting onto his backside. The blind comes down as well to prevent damage a little bit longer. Here comes Jackiana, the heal, the shield. Cuny's not going to be able to take home another kill, but he will be able to bully them back. Now, he's starting on to Jacobsmile. The Ignite comes down, or the Exhaust, pardon me, comes down. A bit more effective in that situation. Dazzle doesn't land! Cuny, the Undying Rage, is going to turn around for an auto attack or two. He knows he needs the lifesteal here if he wants to make it out alive. Spinning Slash going to pull him to the side. Pops that Rage away for a bit of healing, but the Dazzle will land this time. That's going to be Teemo taking home the kill. That was tense for Cuny right there. That was weird for Seahotel right there. The headbutt knocked him to the other side of the wall as the Pulverize connected, so he just kind of stood in the wall and then got shifted out of it. That delicious, delicious spaghetti that Alistair got a big ol' helping of right there. Seahotel going to be dashing for it and is legendary off the back of it. See if JacobSmile can get some revenge. No, he cannot. He targets the clone with the Piercing Light. That is unfortunate. 25 gold is not quite as good as a kill, especially when not getting the kill means that LeBlanc murders you. Jackiana now in the mid lane. Looks for the Dazzle, finds it on Greenish Ninja, but without any backup, I really don't know how impactful that's going to be. I suppose he's buying time, but if it ends up costing him his life, I don't know if the price was worth it. Step to the side slightly, Jackiana, you'll be fine. Altonius dropping a curtain call that may have been a little unwarranted. Altonius is a great name for a Jhin player. I can just see that being, like, a perfectly serviceable name for Jhin, if Riot hadn't wanted to go with, well, Jhin. You know, that character could have just as easily been named Altonius. Oh no, Jackiana. Seahotel is preying even on tanks now. The Ignite is ticking. Jackiana gets out with less than 10 health! Meanwhile, we have another duel between the junglers. Shiayuki flashing in onto Fairlight. The blind comes down, but there's a lot of damage other than those auto attacks coming through. Fairlight has to flash over the wall and gets through the base gate in time. It's a flash for a flash traded. A lot of health off of Fairlight, who's on hit. Teemo build. Sans boots is working out perhaps less than he anticipated in his favor. Cuny getting bursted. JacobSmile, though, dashed towards an enemy LeBlanc, which is going to cost him his flash. Seahotel fails his distortion over the wall. That could have been a quick, solid kill right there, but not when you mess up that sort of skill shot. JacobSmile dashes over the wall right into the face of a bubble, though. Seahotel is legendary, opportunistically snagging that kill for himself. Ryador now with the Sterix Gauge is going to become an even larger cow. Cheapy armor gets interrupted by the bubble. Greenish Ninja, the hero, will be saving Shiayuki's life. Perhaps at the cost of his own, or perhaps not. Seahotel is legendary coming in for the massive LeBlanc damage. Jackiana has the Taric ulti, but it is way too little, way too late. Triple kill for LeBlanc. Unofficial Quadra as he started that one off with a... Actually, maybe is it the unofficial Penta? Did he start off that fight with the double? I'd have to go back over the replay to actually know, but I know he got either 4 or 5 kills during that fight. Either way, relatively impressive. Even on as strong a late game carry as LeBlanc is. Seahotel, Greenish Ninja. Now I'm going to be taking down this inhibitor. They may not have super powerful auto attacks, but with no one to contest them, that's not too big of an issue. Now, how do we see a way back into this game for Blue Team, who are down by 30 kills and nearly 30,000 gold? It's a rough one, for sure, as JacobSmile is finding out to his detriment against Q&E. Q&E gets the auto attack! And there's not much a measly turret laser can do to stop a Tryndamere. And with flash available, there's not much a Vel'Koz can do either. I don't see very many ways back into this one. Q&E really always has the ace up his sleeve of being able to just split push out all day if for some reason the team fights start failing, which really they haven't been up until this point. And not only do they have that split pushing pressure from Tryndamere, but even if that fails, they've got a split pushing Shyvana, both of which require attention. And if at any point the macro play is not solid enough that Blue Team is in the wrong place at the wrong time on the map, Baron will be melted in instants. And we may actually just see that right now as Q&E dashes over into the back of the pit to start that one off. Altonius and Greenish Ninja step on a mushroom. That does alert Blue Team that this Baron is very realistically going down. Q&E has already burned it down decently low. There it is. It does go down. Q&E, I think... Yeah, there's no assists. Q&E soloed out that Baron, while the rest of his team simply played guard duty for him. And Seahotel finishes off Fairlight. Jackiana looks for the Dazzle, but doesn't find it. is perhaps a little overeager on taking this fight here. This team down a member. Cheapy gets a great Felkaz ulti, but it does get interrupted as Shiyuki comes in from the side. Curtain Call flies out. Cheapy armor not quite getting hit by the bullets as he just about gets out of range. Sea Hotel is still looking around the corner for that, though. Nice headbutt's gonna actually interrupt the distortion here. Sea Hotel is still legendary, though. This man just has so much damage. It is impossible, almost, to stop him. But point-and-click headbutt, well, that's what that sort of thing is for. Thankfully, LeBlanc does eventually get shut down. Thankfully, that is for blue team. It's at the cost of quite a bit, though, as Q&E is running rampant in their base. With one inhibitor down, it looks like they're going to be losing another. And Baron buff, still, of course, running on 4 out of the 5 members for red team. Defending against these pushes is going to be a monumental task, and one that it seems Ryador is not quite up to. He flashes out, and then he just about escapes. Even on the back of a few caster minion auto attacks that I thought might perish him. Oh, Ryador. Oh, Ryador. You are playing with my heartstrings right now, buddy. He still gets out, though. This cow does not say die. Exhaust into JacobSmile. Q&E will finish it off as Greenish Ninja just lends the assist. And is this another inhibitor going down? Well, actually, the bottom lane inhibitor didn't quite fall. Q&E came up towards the top because he just wanted a bit more action. Wow, Fairlight takes home the kill on the Q&E. The burst too much for the Tryndamere. Greenish Ninja goes down as well. Cheapy with a laser to slow him up. Alright, they don't lose any inhibitors, actually, aside from the one which had already perished. Seeing a Phantom Teemo appear because of that Guinsoo's Rage Blade is very silly looking. I have to say it. It's very silly. Fairlight been playing a very silly Teemo game overall. Let's see if Shiyuki can get a kill in this 3v1 here. That's about all he can hope for. I don't know that he gets away. That is if the Dazzle is on point from Jackiana. There it is. It connects off to the end. And while Fairlight may not be... perhaps an unnecessary flash there. While Fairlight may not be topping the charts in damage, he certainly does have enough to finish off a few hundred health on that dragon. See Hotel dashes into a mushroom. Gonna be dashing over the wall once again. He's cut out enemy territory here. One more auto will do it. JacobSmile is waiting on the, JacobSmile is taking no chances. Taking no chances whatsoever. He starts firing off the culling as soon as that Zhonya's is about to end. He wants to make sure that this LeBlanc is dead, and you know, I can't really blame him. This is a 20-4 LeBlanc, and as an 80 carry in a game like that, there's a lot of negative feelings you're going to be having about that champion. And it does feel good to cull them away. Jackiana lands the Dazzle. Fairlight's here with the blind if he wants to turn around and help Q&E, but Greenish Ninja is around as well. And actually, Q&E has the cleanse, so he's going to be getting rid of that blind anyways to finish off the kill. Oh no. Tryndamere is starting to run rampant here. With the Elder Dragon available now as an objective as well, that's just going to be more money and more power in their pockets. Not sure exactly what kind of pockets are designed to hold power, but perhaps Donald Trump should get himself a pair. As Q&E is wearing a pair of breeches with quite a few of those pockets. You've got a lot of power to exert right now, having hit a 5-item point. Really, honestly, full build unless he wants to sell off those boots and buy something else. I'm not sure exactly what else. What could he go for aside from boots? I think those Zergus Greaves are the best six slot there. Maybe a pair of Swiftness boots instead, just to get a bit more movement speed, because he's got plenty of damage, doesn't need the Zergus Greaves for that attack speed. He's going to be able to do enough with or without that extra, I think, 15% that it gives, or 10%. It's a pretty negligible amount. Going with the extra movement speed might be better for him. If he does want something just for the combat stats in that slot, then just buying a combat item would be better. One way or another, though, he's not too bothered by it, and he's picking home a double kill here. His red team is pretty much assured the victory at this point. They're rushing down the mid lane. They've got this inhibitor open. They've got all the inhibitors they could want open, really. Spooky ghosts fly out. Little Frost Queen's claim. And the Seed Hotel is looking for a kill into the turret. Perhaps a little over-aggressive. Does get taken down to half health. Always has the option to leave, but you want to do more than that on the Blanc. Q&E and Ryador are fighting an ancient grudge of the top laners. One more bullet is all it's going to take, and Fairlight goes down. Curtain Call takes home the kill. Altonius Bringing one home for himself as Ryador teleported to the wrong spot. No, just teleport to the minions in the back rather than to the mushroom right near the enemy team. And maybe then you would have lived. Sea Hotel going to be flashing forward. It lands! The ethereal chain connects to the very edge. Sea Hotel takes it home. JacobSmile putting up a valiant effort, though. Shoving in that bottom lane turret. Does get the inhibitor turret. And indeed gets a lot of attention as well. LeBlanc basing. Sort of cues the rest of her team to back off. I apologize for that audio bug, by the way. I don't know why it does that sometimes, but the laser sound from the turret will sometimes just continue playing pretty much indefinitely. So anytime we see that turret from now on, it's going to be making sounds at us. I apologize. I'm not sure what causes that. There's a lot of bugs with the replay client, like the fact that neither team has a dragon count right now. I'm pretty sure dragons have been taken, Riot. One way or the other. I'm not salty about that. Not salty at all. I'm sure they're working on it. And we should probably take stock of where we are in the game currently. Well, where we are is 45 minutes into a game that Red Team seems to be winning pretty decidedly. But we are 45 minutes into a game, and you know what that means? That means that we are in the mega late game. That's the point at which if a team loses a team fight and loses it hard, they can lose the whole game off that, especially if they just gave up a inhibitor turret to a split push. So, you know, there's a way back into this for Blue. There's a way back into this for Blue, but it's not an easy one. They've got to win a team fight, which, demonstrably speaking, is very difficult, and historically speaking, has not really been done too often for this team. QNE spinning over the wall. Ryador might be caught out a little bit. That Duskblade of Drakthar has been picked up, allowing QNE a bit more leverage for killing tanks, but Ryador does have that rank 3 Alistair ulti, giving them 70% damage reduction, and QNE can't really stand up to that quite yet. He's going to be opting instead to go for Jackiana, but that's not much of a squishier target in the end. Sea Hotel comes around the corner, gets interrupted by that Pulverize, nicely placed from Ryador, and Jackiana and Ryador are buying a lot of time for JacobSmile, who's returned to his roost at the bottom side of the map, shoving down that inhibitor which he previously opened up. Now we have Ryador getting caught by the ethereal chains, even if this cow goes down, which it may not go down. This has been very much worth it as an inhibitor does fall on the bottom side of the map. Blue team may win this by dint of split pushing AD carry. They get to send their Shyvana back home to the base though. Shiyuki's going to be more than enough threat to keep JacobSmile off these turrets. Might even be enough to actually bring him down entirely. There it is. As a culling flies off in the wrong direction. It's pretty much the only word for it. The wrong direction, but that's alright. You know, I wasn't going to save him one way or the other if the culling had hit or if it had missed. So really in the end, it was just for style points. But he got the inhibitor, and that's great, honestly. That's going to go a long ways towards bringing Blue Team back into this match. As QNE is opting into fight after fight, often with a pair of tanks here. There we go, he's going to the back line, he's going for Fairlight. He does get blinded up, though, so his strikes aren't doing, well, pretty much anything. There's Ryador with a 3-man knockup, 4-man even if you learn to count. Double Bubble, though, is going to be holding Ryador and Jackiana up in the air a little bit longer. QNE going to dash over the wall and finally finish off the kills onto these pesky tanks. Tarek going down. With a 2-man advantage on the board, Red Team could finish the game right here. Could and probably will. Dashing into the turret is going to cost QNE a lot of his health, though. There's the Life Form Disintegration Ray. QNE's just going to happily lifesteal through that, though. Chibi is no longer able to flex the kind of damage that he could before. As I say that, he takes home a double kill. The double kill, which is, in fact, even a shutdown. Altonius, now really low on health, does finally get finished off as JacobSmile lands another few bullets from the culling. And this is a lone Lucian, with a Teemo actually, coming in from the side to defend these turrets. Greenish Ninja. Gonna be shown what for by that slowing, blinding dart. A Rylai's Crystal Scepter finished off from this Teemo build. You never know what he's gonna do next, boys. You never know. And Sea Hotel will make it home. Back to base. So actually, no, he won't. I speak too soon. Fairlight gets the kill with an auto attack. Poison enhanced, of course. Wow. That's the inhibitor respawning soon, as the announcer woman was so kind to tell us for Blue Team. That's going to be evening up that pressure discrepancy that they have. That's a Nexus turret going down as Red Team was overzealously fighting in the enemy base and left the Avenon back in their home. Which leads to disaster, a turret falling. Not ideal. We'll see where the next move is on the map. The next fight. You know, I said this 5 minutes ago, but the next fight's surely gonna decide this game one direction or another. with one team missing a Nexus turret and an inhibitor, and the other one with all 3 inhibitors standing bare and missing a Nexus turret. This game has to come to a conclusion as we've reached nearly 50 minutes into the match. Baron is started off by blue team. They don't take it quite as quickly as the Tryndamere assisted red, but it goes down respectably quickly. And with no contest from red, it's not really a matter of how quickly it goes down, but just how much they're going to do with the buff once they get it. Looks like Fairlight's in a split-pushing mood. He's got a big minion wave to help him out with that. As Q&E is going to answer back with some pressure on the bottom side. Stealing away a red buff, and then maybe looking for the 1v1 here if you can find Lucian. Or maybe just the back door. Some warning pings as he gets spotted out by the enemy team. And panic results immediately upon seeing this powerful of a Tryndamere beast dashing in. He doesn't even burn the ulti! Q&E goes down to a crit from JacobSmile. Meanwhile, on the top side, Farlight's going to be going down as well. Fairlight, pardon me. As both split pushers find their ends prematurely. One to a bullet, one to a dragon's bite. And both teams, now 4 men on the map, are gonna look for the next move. I'm trying to provide quality analysis on this game here, but it has become so messy. Everyone is just looking to be the hero, to make the game-winning play themselves, and everyone's getting caught out, and nobody's the hero, everybody's the sidekick. You know, the sidekick always dies in this kind of heart-wrenching story. We see pings for assistance in the mid lane as blue team may be setting up for a push. Looks like they're going to be splitting their efforts. 2 to mid, 2 to bot. While both sides are still waiting quite a while for those solo heroes to respawn, Teemo and Tryndamere, respectively. Ryadar finds himself caught out. Seahotel landing some nice damage. Altonius going to be tossing in a few bullets of his own. They get deflected off by that damage reduction enhancement from the Alistar ult. JacobSmile now with the benefit of invulnerability, going to be dashing forwards on the Greenish Ninja. There's Seahotel coming in for some damage of his own, but he doesn't quite land it. JacobSmile going to be backing away. He comes in onto Shionyuki and he gets home the kill that is a 1-for-0 advantage for blue team. Q&E though has respawned and is much closer to this fight than Fairlight, who's respawned on the other side of the map. Let's see how this goes. Blue team shoving in that single open inhibitor. Now they have a single Nexus turret to contend with before they can take home the victory and close out this tense game. JacobSmile is on a rampage as once again Q&E goes down without burning the Tryndamere ult. Now Seahotel's going to be taking out Cheapy. It doesn't have too much of an impact on this fight either, so it's a 1-for-1 now. But the inhibitor turret, Nexus turret, pardon me, falls. Meanwhile, JacobSmile goes down to some bursts from Seahotel. There are pings flying out across the map. Altonius takes on the kill on Ryadar. Jakiana, the last member of his team surviving, flashes away. He is desperately trying to escape from this botched push. Everything but the Nexus went down, and close, well, close only counts in hand grenades and horseshoes, my friends, not in League of Legends. But Jakiana makes it out. Fairlight, revived from his earlier efforts, is going to have to put up a miracle defense alongside this Taric if red team wants to shove with their 3-2 man advantage on the board here while they have these massive death timers to work with. 2, 3, 4. Please. Please. Quite actually 100 kills, if my math is right. Is my math right? Please. 80 plus 14 is 94. Not 100 kills. Not 100 kills yet. That was why I don't do math when I'm broadcasting. I promise, I'm an intelligent person. Which is not when I'm all hyped up about League of Legends. Nearly 100 kills on the board. 53.5 minutes in. 100,000 gold for red team. Everyone is at full builds, except, oddly enough, LeBlanc, who may just be holding on to that empty slot for a pink ward. I'm not entirely sure. And we don't have a victor. Neither the champion nor a team who can claim to be one. We do have the insight on the next item for the Teemo build, though. Nashor's Tooth. Fairlight now has reached that point where this build can actually come to fruition. This was the plan the whole time. Make it to 54 minutes. Be able to be both Teemos. The AP and the on-hit. Why choose one? So what kind of Teemo build are you going to play today, Fairlight? Are you going to go on-hit or are you going to go AP? Yes, said Fairlight. Unequivocally. And apparently he's also going to be playing the front line. He's walking rather dangerously close to the enemy portion of the jungle, but this is buying some time for the Lucian. If you look in your minimap, he's over by the Nexus. Meanwhile, Fairlight and Jakiana are in a duel here, but Seahotel is going to be dashing in onto JacobSmile, whose dreams of being the hero have been crushed. Altonius, in the meantime, takes down Fairlight as Jackiano, without any team, is going to be recreating his mad dash from earlier to a lot less success. A double kill for Altonius leads to a 3-man advantage on the board for red team. That's the kind of advantage you can't really afford to have if you're blue. The laser, no, it doesn't quite connect. The Q, it does! Cheapy goes down, but he was sticking around too long, and Altonius will take him home with a crit. See if Ryadar can duel out Altonius here. He's got the tankiness to survive, but does he have the ability to stick to this Jhin? And he does not. Meanwhile, a monster minion wave has been building on the top lane, and it is doing its best by itself to take on the turret. Altonius steps on the wrong place. He goes down to a mushroom. Fairlight, even post-mortem, is doing work on this map. Oh, God. And it looks like Rydar's arrived in the top lane in time to cancel out that minion wave shove, but it does mean that his attentions were focused towards the top side of the map, leaving this middle inhibitor open. And I'm getting a feeling of deja vu here. Wasn't it just 20 short minutes ago that we saw Sea Hotel and Greenish Ninja autoing this inhibitor to death? And now we're back here once again. Ryadar trying to put a nix to it, but it's too late. It's fallen already. And he may be a tanky cow, but he's really got not much to offer when it comes to trying to hold down and kill a LeBlanc. He simply does not have the damage to do it. That's going to allow Sea Hotel to get out of there. In blue team, they're 3-for-0 mishap. As we do reach 100 kills, I can do that math on the board. Resulted in a loss of a turret, but honestly not a loss of an inhibitor, pardon me, different things. But not much else, which is honestly surprising to me as we encroach on the hour-long mark. There's going to be one for the ages, boys and girls. This one is in age, boys and girls, unto itself. Fairlight tosses a mushroom over for a bit of vision into the Elder Dragon pit, bounces another mushroom off of it, with the hopes maybe of stealing, or maybe of just getting even further vision, but it does actually chase off what few members of Red Team had fielded toward the Elder Dragon. It's Blue Team going to be taking that one down pretty quickly. Rydar's running Disruption on the back lines of the enemy team. Teemo finishes it off, presumably with a smite. Shirayuki diving to the back lines, but he's alone here, and he's going to get melted if his team doesn't follow up. Greenish Ninja comes in, he guides the bubble onto only Ryadar. Meanwhile, on the back lines, Cheapy is just left untouched. The ulti comes down. A nice shot from Altonius will finish off the Teemo, but Fairlight never really was the linchpin of his team's composition. Greenish Ninja now going to go down. JacobSmile is off in the back. He's already finishing off the Nexus. He's got the game in his sights, and it looks like this time he'll be able to take it home. Blue team, with less than half the kills of their counterpart, take the victory in one of the most grueling episodes of 100 Casts I think I've ever recorded. Thank you all for watching. My name is Octavian. If you enjoyed that, then please do click that subscribe, that like, that any of the other buttons down there that you feel like pressing. And hopefully I'll be seeing you all next time.